Hold on for a second. Let me just take this sand out of my eye. It's too early in the morning, man, for me.
Hey, well, at least won't have a 3-year-old in the background making all that noise like you did yesterday.
They'll just have me in the background making all that noise, acting like a 3-year-old because getting up so damn early in the morning. Maybe it's better to have a 3-year-old making a ton of noise in the background because we had a decent day yesterday.
Yeah, 5-2. Didn't start off the most promising, especially with my under with the Braves Brewers. 3-0 right away with the Braves, and then you're like, okay, let's just string some outs together. And then we're not doing that at all. And then you got lucky too. Milwaukee came back and won. That was one of your picks. So,
but they won pretty handily. I don't know how lucky it was, but
you were down 3-0.
It was lucky that they come back from 4-0 to win. Yeah, that's always a positive. But almost did the same thing in the other game, but Detroit couldn't get the final run home to tie the game when they were threatening in the bottom of the 8th inning and scoring all those runs, but they couldn't get the 4th run to tie it. But that's okay. And then on the soccer game, the LA Galaxy, that game wasn't close, 4-1 plus 105. Told you that was the least likely game of the day to tie. And I mentioned, too, that you could take all 3 home teams. I was afraid of a stupid soccer tie in one of those, but it didn't happen. Orlando made it kind of scary, down 2-1, but they came back to win. I did it in my own account, plus 453. That worked out pretty well, too. So I'm happy about that. And then, of course, your Colorado pick, that takes some cojones. And you did it, and it came through, plus 180, right?
I shouldn't even have backed down from the $30. I should have just kept it at $30, but still $20. It was a plus $34 profit. So
yeah, I'll take that all day long, right?
Yeah,
no and ifs or buts about that.
It wasn't close at all, so I could go to bed and wake up and not have any craziness.
And not jinx yourself. Well, you never know. You can't necessarily say – you never know in baseball. I've seen some games this year you think are over that aren't over.
Yeah, and actually, surprisingly, there wasn't too many of those yesterday.
No,
there were a lot of teams that jumped up, and they held their lead the whole way through. So,
well, hopefully we can pick those games today, Sean, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Stay on a roll. You know what? We started this on July 1st. It's now July 31st. So they're going to mark 1 month. And, I thought I'm going to tread carefully because I want to make sure I end the month on a winning record. And then I went through the games and I have a few things I like today. So, I'm going to risk that winning record. I don't think I'll risk the profit. Maybe not, but I am, because I am up over 10%. Now I am going to go ahead and I'm going to up my betting total to $30. As long as if I work my way back down to 1,000, I'll move it back to 25. But you have to progressively make your bets larger as your bankroll grows. So that's what we're going to do starting today in Major League Baseball, Sean. That's the first thing up on the board today. Mm-hmm. Whew, let's look at the games and this barely eye-open day. Kansas City versus Toronto. Another big line for Toronto. And again, a negative run line as well. So I can't bet it either way. It's just on principle right now.
Yeah, I'm going to pass it too. Although Toronto, I do find interesting. Kansas City 17-32 on the road. Toronto's 23-12 during day games. So they like the day even better than the night. The whole one run thing, they're 46 of their 52 wins have come by more than one run. So you shouldn't really get burned by the run line, but minus 125, I don't want to take that.
No, you are getting burnt by the run line just because it's minus 125.
Yeah,
to me, you can't take a run. I'm telling you, this is a rule. You have to stick by it. You'll find that it works to your favor. I just don't make rules up. It's experience. It's called getting burned. So if I'm going to take that risk, I want to get rewarded, right? It's a simple risk versus reward.
Yeah, the White Sox worked out yesterday, and sometimes I look at it as, do you feel more confident giving up a run and a half with Toronto, or do you feel more confident with a 50-50 game like the A's-Angels where you're getting the A's minus 130? So,
well, I if you can pick the winner, I'd be more confident with the 1-run game than the 1.5 run game.
Yeah, and I always look at the 1 run too. Like, so I said Toronto, they've only won 6 games by 1 run. So 46 of 52, that's a high percentage that they're winning by more than 1.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Minus 1.5 is only minus 125.
No, I'm not taking it this time. I'm just making the argument for the case that where you can.
Well, you can make that argument. I agree with you, but I'm not all that into it. Oakland versus the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels haven't scored in the last 2 games against Oakland. Are they going to? There's just no way they're going 3 in a row without getting scored on.
No, but I do like Oakland here, and I'm going to take Oakland money line. I see minus 135 now at DraftKings. I don't know where it is anywhere else. Angels are only 17-17 versus left-handed pitching. Like you said, they're not hitting right now. Cole Irvin sometimes has really, really good outings, so this could be another one. The Angels don't score many runs, and Oakland wins this game.
Well, right now the best line you can get is minus 114 from Wagger. Haven't heard of that one, but we're early in the morning. We are line shopping, so we'll go ahead with the minus 114. But it looks like in the real world you're going to get somewhere around minus 127. At minus 114, I think I'll take Oakland too. When I look at the advanced pitching metrics, Irvin is a much better pitcher than what is the gentleman he's facing, Barrios or Barrier or something along those lines. Barria.
Yep, Jamie Barrier.
So, and like you mentioned, and like I mentioned, the Los Angeles Angels are not hitting the ball right now at all. They've been shut out 2 in a row. So we'll snatch that minus 114 while it exists, but in reality, you're probably going to be minus 129, somewhere in that range. And right now, it looks like the majority of the tickets are on the Angels. There's no really word yet on the money, so I haven't gotten an update on that. Next game up on the docket, Houston and San Francisco. Houston got the better of it last night. I think I went to bed. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Greinke versus Wood. This is a pretty good pitching matchup. I think favors a little bit the San Francisco Giants. And they get Chris Bryant in the lineup today, so it should have a little more pop. A few more strikeouts with men on base, too, but a little bit more pop in that lineup. This is a 50-50 game, according to Vegas. They're giving the Giants the slight edge.
Yeah, if I went one way here, I'd go Houston. Houston's 25-17 versus left-handed pitching. And Alex's Wood ERA is, 3.65, but there's times he gets hit pretty good. Houston's got the lineup to do it again. I don't trust it either way. Like you said, Chris Bryant's in the lineup with San Francisco, so that should give them a boost. Who knows?
Unless there's guys in scoring position with 2 outs, then he's not going to get it. Get used to it, San Francisco.
Yeah. So I would lean Houston, but I'm not banking any official play here.
Yeah, this game looks like a 50-50 game all across the board. There's 55% of the tickets this early in the morning, and that'll change, of course. It's early, are on the Astros, but the money's closer to 50-50 so far. Going to be a real tough call there. Boston versus Tampa Bay, another game that looks like it's going to be a very close game. If I were going to go anyway on this side, I would probably lean Boston. Their minus 102 is probably the best line you can get. If you like Tampa Bay, their minus looks like 104 is the best line you can get. So Vegas is saying it's a 50-50 game. But when you look at the pitching matchup, Eovaldi ranks considerably higher than Yarborough. The Boston Red Sox win a large amount of games on the road, and they also fare well against lefties. So I'm not going to take this game as 50-50, and I'm not getting a plus line. So Vegas they're not going to give me any value. They're not going to get any of my money.
Yeah, I couldn't go either way here. Neither. I will say Boston is struggling, and I think they've lost 2 in a row to lefties versus Tampa, and they've been lit up both games against Tampa too. So I couldn't trust Boston, and I don't know. It might be too late to get on the Tampa train. This could be the reverse here in this game, so I'm going to pass.
Yeah, when you look at the tickets right now, it's 60% on the Red Sox, but more than 50%, a little bit more than 50% of the early money is leaning towards the Rays. So it looks like they agree with you. Boston's gotten lit up, and Toronto's a good ball. Not Toronto. Tampa Bay somehow always finds a way to win. It's always interesting to me, that team. They get rid of all their good players. They got no fans. They don't have a payroll, and yet somehow they're one of the best teams in baseball. Contrast to that, to my Cubs, they have one of the highest payrolls in the league. They get rid of their best players recently, and they can't win no matter what. Just once every 108 years. Fortunately, I was in the middle of one of those 108-year cycles. I won't catch the back end of the next one, but my great-grandkids might see something the next Cubs World Series. Baltimore and Detroit. I was thinking about getting on the Detroit train again to see if I can get my jersey like you, Sean. But then I saw that they're playing against John Means, and it'd probably be a very back and forth game.
Yeah, so John Means has struggled a little bit the last couple outings, and Matt Manning usually gives up runs. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to take the over 9 here. I think there's going to be runs in this game.
Breaking the rules.
Yeah, I mean, it worked. Most of the rules I broke yesterday came in, so we'll stick to that trend here. Yeah, I'm going to go over 9 because I think Baltimore can score against Manning, and Detroit's offense at home is pretty good. And like I said, John Means has struggled the last couple starts, so
maybe he's got a little bit of a tired arm.
And Detroit is 18-15 versus left-handed pitching too, so left-handed pitching doesn't scare Detroit at all.
No, it doesn't scare him at all. But when I ran through the numbers, it just didn't. I was having to pay a little too much for Detroit than I wanted to, so I stayed away from the game. But it doesn't look like bettors are staying away from the game, although the Orioles are taking the majority of the tickets, about 60% of the tickets. The Detroit Tigers are taking more than almost 80 cents on the dollar. So I can't take it. Though I wanted to take Detroit again because I want to get my Detroit jersey like you. The Yankees and Miami still got an undecided pitcher. Don't got a line there, but it looks like the line's going to be about minus 155 for the Yankees, plus 135 for the Marlins.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'd like to.
You don't want the new look Yankees with Gallo and Rizzo. The lineup really potent.
Rizzo homered his first at bat yesterday, so right away. That's amazing too. I didn't know if he would play or not. Some of these guys that got traded right away, they were in the lineup right away. So
yeah, they were. Yeah, so I feel like the Yankees should be able to score runs. No, especially against an undecided pitcher. Who are they going to throw in there?
Yeah, and like we talked yesterday, they're just. And it doesn't always matter in baseball anymore, especially the regular season, but they are just by far the most talented team over Miami, too. So they should win these games. But I'm not
minus 155. It's a pretty fair price to pay considering you don't know who the pitcher is.
I'm going to pass, though.
Yeah, I am as well. The Chicago Cubs versus the Washington Nationals. I don't think John Lester is going to pitch because I think he's a member of the Cardinals now. So unless the Cardinals have signed a waiver to let Lester pitch one more game. The Nationals, even without John Lester, are the minus 120 favorite. The Cubs right now looks like they're going to be a plus 100. So you can get a positive line with the Cubs. There's a 4-3 game, I think, yesterday. Both teams have had the lead at one point with their AA or AAA lineups. It's going to be the AA, AAA lineups again. And probably the Cubs will have the pitching matchup advantage with Hendricks.
Yeah. Hendricks ain't the same pitcher on the road as he is at home, but he's still good enough. And especially against that Washington lineup now. I mean, this is that 1-800-GET-HELP, though, game. There's plenty of other games that you can bet.
Yeah, I have a hard time figuring out how to bet, minor league baseball. Right? I don't know much about minor league baseball. Pittsburgh dominated the Keystone State rivalry yesterday, and today they get the Philadelphia Ace. Are the Pirates, the Buccos, going to be able to make it 2 in a row?
I'm not taking it as official play, but Aaron Nola's been overvalued this year. Now, his last start, I don't know if that was rain or what. It says he appeared but never really pitched, so that might have been rain or some kind of delay there. The start before, he went 8 1/3 and gave up 0 runs against the Braves. Now, I looked at when Nola gives up 0 runs or 1 run this year, his next start is usually not that good. He has not been able to hit a streak. So
can't put 2 good games back to back unless it's raining in the middle and he doesn't play.
Yeah, so he's not having an ace type year. Pittsburgh's interesting, but I'm not going to trust it and take it.
Right now, 82% of the money is on Philadelphia and 83% of the tickets. So looks like the betting public as well as the sharp money expects Nola to bounce back to make it 2 with the no pitch line in the middle because of rain. Yeah, I'm not on this game either because I have to pay too much for the Philadelphia team. They really want you to overpay for Philadelphia and Las Vegas. And like I've said many times before, probably broken record now, if Vegas wants you to overpay for something, they're essentially telling you they think Philadelphia is going to win. So they're going to make you give up any value. In fact, they're going to make you pay such a premium that over the course of time, you're going to end up losing. So I'll stay away from that. The next game on the docket is Seattle versus Texas. Two lefties on the mound. Seattle is the heavy favorite in the game in the early line, minus 168. And you can get plus 155 for the home team, Texas, who actually does have the run differential advantage in this spot. But Seattle does have the power ranking advantage. Looking at the line right now, Vegas is making you pay up for Seattle, and they're giving you a pretty nice discount on Texas. So they're telling you bet Texas. They're dangling the Ranger carrot before you. Are you going to bite?
No, I don't want to put my faith record money on the line for Texas at all, really, especially against a good team like Seattle. Both do
a decent team against Seattle. I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't describe Seattle as good. I think a little better than average.
Well, you know what, though? That's why you're getting a lot of value with Seattle throughout the year. You're not getting them here, but I mean,
I hate them because every time I bet against them, they win.
Yeah, exactly. They are the best underdog team there is. Now, they're not the underdog here. And both perform well against lefties. Seattle's 22-15. Texas is only 17-20, but when you consider they have 36 wins and almost half of them came against lefties, that's pretty good. So
plus they traded their biggest stake. So
yeah, I'm passing on this game.
Yeah, as am I. Cleveland at the White Sox. Are you going to go back on the White Sox train here?
No, I don't want to give up a run and a half here. White Sox should win, but minus 160, too steep of a price for me.
It's not too steep for me, but I'm not going to take it because, believe it or not, with his bloated ERA, when you look at advanced metrics, McKenzie's a better pitcher than Keuchel. Maybe at the over in this game. I wouldn't be surprised if they score a lot of runs. Neither pitcher is all that good. I think Cleveland actually has a decent record against lefties, too. What's the over-under in this spot?
Cleveland's 19-20 versus lefties. The over-under is 9.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if this game goes well over 9 runs, but I'm not going to. That's one of my rules. I'm not going to violate my rule. It's against my constitution, so I won't do that game. Looking at the money early on, it's 55% of the tickets on the White Sox, but a little bit of the majority of the money looks like the sharps know that McKenzie, as bloated as his ERA, is a better pitcher than Keuchel, which is it's hard to believe. Anyway, Minnesota versus St. Louis. There are no lines. I don't even think I had a line this morning, but looks like the early indication is it'll be a push minus 110 to minus 110. St. Louis won yesterday fairly easily.
Yeah, I mean, this might be – I don't have this down as an official pick, but St. Louis sounds pretty good to me on this one. I won't make it an official bet, but St. Louis at home. And we always talk about Minnesota being overvalued, and I would think this is another case of that. Why should this be a 50-50 game? This might be one –
but it's not really a 50-50 game.
Well, when it's
you're like minus 45 because of the way the odds are right now.
Yeah, well, that's Vegas taking their share of it too.
Both ways.
Yeah. Then they always do with those kind of games. This might be one that I didn't make an official bet, but sitting here talking about it now, and this is why you should watch.
So you're going to talk yourself into it?
I'm going to talk myself into it probably in my personal account because I've made a lot of money against Minnesota this year because they're overvalued in Vegas. They're just not that good.
No, they are not good at all this year. I think they're winning like 31% of their games on the road. Some small number. Let me check real quick. Minnesota versus, there wasn't even a line this morning when I put that together, so I don't have the numbers. Milwaukee versus Atlanta. This is a pretty good pitching matchup. Maybe you might get yourself a under here, Sean, since you love the under so much.
No, I got burned with the under with these two teams yesterday, so I'm not going to try to go back to it again.
No, I think you got a better chance to go under today, to be honest with you, because I don't see Woodruff giving up 4 runs in the first inning. I'm going to get back on the Milwaukee. They've been kind to me, and they actually broke my Atlanta jinx yesterday. So, as I said many times, whenever I bet the Braves, they tend to lose, and when I bet against them, they tend to win. A lot of times when I take some money early out of a series, I'll stay out of that series the rest of the way. But I feel like Milwaukee is one of those teams that's surging right now. Atlanta is one of those teams I feel like is is struggling. They're looking at the standings. The season's getting away from them, and they know it. When Acuna got hurt, kind of that was their Hindenburg moment. So I'm going to go ahead and take Milwaukee again. Looks like the best number I can get is minus 144. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Milwaukee minus 144.
Yeah, and then the Braves went out and got some players. They were not top-tier players at all.
They got Jock Peterson.
Yeah, they just got these.
To get traded.
Yeah, they got some of these fill-in guys to try to make up for some of that.
Well, they did it last year successfully. I mean, they were just a few outs away from going to the World Series when their entire pitching staff went down. This year, their entire offense is going down. So maybe next year, the whole team will stay together.
Yeah, and that would be nice.
Or maybe it'll be the front office that goes down next year, right? The Dodgers are at Arizona. Any chance in HE double toothpicks that the Arizona could put together a 2-game winning streak against the mighty Dodgers?
It's possible. I mean, Josiah Gray made his, start debut last time. He did all right.
He pitched okay. He was kind of a little all over the place, but yeah, he's all right.
The Dodgers actually cost me last night. I had a parlay going, and I just needed the Dodgers to close it out, and they couldn't do that.
Well, they were losing the whole game, weren't they?
Yeah, they came back in the bottom of the 8th, tied the game, and then Arizona won at the bottom of the 9th. Yeah.
Who was on the mound for the Dodgers on the back end?
It was not
my Hanley Jansen.
It was not Haley Jansen. That's the first thing I looked at to see who got the loss. It was not him. I can't go either way here. I don't want to. Dodgers are struggling a little bit, and
they should be able to beat Arizona.
They should.
The line is minus 170 earlier in the morning when I was looking at my DK account. And I'm thinking if that line comes down to like minus 167, minus 165, somewhere, if there's any point in their day where Arizona gets any money and the LA line moves a little bit in Arizona's favor, I'm going to jump all over this. There's no way Arizona could beat the Dodgers two games in a row. I mean, the Dodgers went ahead and made all these trades, got their lineup bigger, stronger. There's just no way. But right now, I'm not getting that number, so I'm not going to do it. Last game of the day is Colorado versus you, Darvish. You went out, like I said yesterday, with the Cantaloupe Cajones and got yourself on that Colorado train, and you got paid. So are you going to back that up with another day of Cajones and pick up the Colorado Rockies?
Maybe in my personal account later. I'm not going to try to do it, although I will say Colorado is starting to own San Diego. They have a winning record. They're like 7-6 versus them this year.
They've won free in their minds.
3 of their last 4 in San Diego they've won, and 6 of their last 8 overall versus San Diego they've won. So you're getting value again. The pitching matchup's pretty even. Marquez has been pretty good. He struggled the last 2 starts, I believe, which is my hesitation here. Mm-hmm. But Darvish is starting to struggle a little bit too. So
he kind of goes through ups and downs.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go with it. Maybe if I'm doing good later, I'll put some money on it before the game starts.
Well, it doesn't show it here, but I'm going to run line this thing. And I'm going to take you, Darvish, and I'm going to take San Diego. In my DraftKings account, it was plus 100. So I'm not breaking my rule, although we don't see any here. But in DraftKings, it was plus 100. So I already put that bet in. So I'm going to take San Diego minus 1.5 runs. When you look at this lineup, I know you've mentioned how they've dominated. Marquez is a decent pitcher, but Darvish is considerably better. Marquez has not pitched as well against San Diego as he's done regularly. Darvish has not. He's been okay against Colorado, but a lot of those games were in Colorado, where the ball just kind of leaves the park if you blow on it. So looking at the run line differential, this is the biggest run line differential of the day. Like 62% to 38%. It's not close. It's the biggest power ranking advantage on the day. I was actually shocked. So maybe it's a square sucker bet with the plus 100 on the run line. But just call me square sucker bet, SpongeBob, SquarePants, whatever, because this game, it's too good not to take it. So I'm going ahead and take San Diego plus 100.
I'll say 2 things. One, Colorado has won 6 games in the month of July on the road. They only have 12 for the year, so half of them already is in July. So when you look at the stats overall for the year, you also got to look at the trends like that. So Colorado, I agree. I disagree with you on that because you're talking about what's called recency bias, right? So what's happening right now.
I'm talking about overall. And what typically happens is, and we talked about this last night with Tuki Toussaint, right? The guy had a high ERA all of his career. Coming in this year, he looked like he was the new Cy Young. And I mentioned to you yesterday, look, at some point in time, he's due for a bad outing. Boom, bad outing. So I'm all for regression. Yeah, I'm glad Colorado is playing well because it means I'm getting plus 100. Because if they were sucking up the joint, it would be like minus 125 like Toronto.
Yeah, exactly. And then I do have one other pick. You actually skipped a game, I believe. Cincinnati and the Mets. Cincinnati and the Mets.
This is not on the rock. It's not on the roster here. So, here it is. Cincinnati and the Mets. Rich Hill versus Wayne Miley, two lefties.
Yeah, so Cincinnati's 12-7 versus left-handed pitching. Mets are 11-20. Cincinnati's been hitting the ball really. I mean, Joey Votto's hit a home run in, I believe, it's 7 straight games now.
Yeah, we gave him the blessing.
Yeah, and it's really making me mad. Each game, I'm like, yeah, he's not going to do it this time, so I can't take it. I'm too late to the party, and he just keeps hitting a home run. But I know as soon as I put money on that, and I couldn't find the odds for it this morning.
You're going to end his streak, huh?
I'm going to end his streak. So just keep doing your thing, Joey Votto. I'll leave you alone. Miley last outing against the Mets was 6 1/3 innings, 1 earned run, and that was just on 720, so 11 days ago. So I'm going to take Cincinnati. You're getting a plus line here. I had plus 104.
Plus 104. You can get plus 111. Okay. Plus 112. I'm sorry. So the best line you can get is plus 112.
Yeah, I think that's a good play, and you get plus value there. And like I said, Cincinnati's pretty good against lefties, and Mets are horrible against lefties. So
yeah, well, it's a good play. I think I wish you luck. I'm going to avoid that game because it's a game where Cincinnati has the power edge, the Mets have the run differential, and the line is kind of jumbled. So I'm not going to take it. But if it's a 50-50 game, statistically it's a 50-50 game. So if I were going to take anything in a 50-50 spot, it would be Cincinnati. So I would back you on that, but I'm not going to. Just some moral support, Sean. And instead of the Moosher, we can call it the Sean now.
Sure.
All right. So now that wraps up the baseball schedule for the day. So for me, I run line the San Diego Padres at plus 100, minus 144 with the Milwaukee Brewers, and then minus 114 on the Oakland A's. $30 on all of them because, like I said at the start, being up, when you're up, you have to press your bets. You have to progressively increase your bets as your balance grows. That's what we're going to do here. Sean, recap your baseball bets again.
So I have Oakland minus 114 against the LA Angels. I had the over 9 in the Baltimore Tigers game, and then I took the Reds money line plus 112 at the New York Mets.
Sounds good. Now, your favorite sports? Let's move on to MLS Soccer. You got anything in there?
I started looking at some of these this morning. There's some that are favored that might lose today.
You think so? I'm curious. Who do you think that's favored that's going to lose?
I'm trying to look at the lines now, but I believe I looked at Real Salt Lake and Houston here, and the favorite there is a little starting to struggle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty even draw. When you look at the odds, it looks like 245, 270. So Real Salt Lake is the home team against Houston. I really try not to bet against home teams in that often in MLS because, like I said, it is probably the most home-friendly sporting league in North America. They have traditionally won close to 60% of the games. So that's a pretty high hit rate. And that's one of the cool things about soccer is you can get a major home bias like that and still catch plus lines, which is you're not going to get that in football for sure. You ain't going to get that in baseball. You're not going to get that in basketball. It's the only sport I can think of where that happens. So, and a lot of people don't bet it because they're unfamiliar with it. Yet yesterday, like I mentioned at the top, I said you can put the 3 home teams together yesterday in a parlay. I did that. It won. I didn't do it officially. I took the Galaxy. They smashed Portland. So hopefully we can keep that up. So I do have 3 things that I like today, but I'm going to split it in 2. So I'm going to go $15 both ways. I'm going to start with the Montreal Impact against the Inter Miami Football Club. I can get plus 223 on Montreal. These teams, they're basically 2 expansion teams. They've played 3 times. Montreal has smacked them all 3 times. Looking at the folks from Miami, they've given up 17 goals, I think, at home. They've not been very defensive oriented at all. Yeah, they scored 5 goals in 7 games, so they score less than a goal a game, and they give up almost 2.5 goals per game. Whereas Montreal has only scored 7 goals on the road and given up 9. But when I look at their history with each other, I look at how they're playing, where they are in the standings. I'm going to take Montreal plus the 220. Was it? I said Montreal plus 223.
223.
That's the best number I can get. So I'm taking Montreal there for $15. And then on the my other bet in here is you have Seattle Sounders. And now, granted, a lot of their players are injured, and a lot of the players are on the national team. They're playing in the Olympics. They're playing in the Gold Cup for the United States team that'll be facing Mexico tomorrow. I'll tweet out a pick on that. But I still think they're better than the San Jose Earthquake. So I'm going to take them at home, and I'm also going to pair them up with probably the best team right now in the MLS, Sporting Kansas City, minus 70. So I'm taking 2 of the better teams in the Western Conference, matching them up against 2 of the not so good teams in the Western Conference. And I take a minus 175 and a minus 145, combine them for plus 176 in a parlay for $15.
So that's avoiding the tie?
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about the tie. I figure my thinking is I'm going to get 2 out of 3 right today. And if I hit on Montreal and I split on the parlay, that's a profitable day, right? Because I got plus 220.
I will say Seattle's one of those that I looked at, and with all the injuries and people over, different, it was too scary for me. And then the other one that I brought up, Houston, they have an 8-game winless streak going. They have a lot of ties going, and they're still favored to win too.
Yeah, well, it looks right now that the Real Salt Lake has become the favorite to win. I think I looked at the game as probably the most. Let's look real quick at my projections here. I think that was the game that has the greatest chance to tie on the day. No, actually, New England Red Bulls and that game has the highest probability of a tie. So if you want to bet a tie today, bet the tie between New England and the New York Red Bulls. It's plus 130.
Yeah, the Houston games, Houston's plus 110, the draw is plus 265, and Real Salt Lake's plus 250.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you might want to take Real Salt Lake there. That's probably not a bad play.
Yeah, that's why I looked at Houston, because it kind of had the odds that you had. I like you get, if you put the tie in play and you get the even money, at least you get the better team usually. But then I'm looking up Houston, and they haven't won in 8 games. I can't take that.
No, well, I couldn't take that either. So looking at the MLS schedule, those are the 3 games that I like. Like I said, I expect my feeling is that I'll hit 2 out of 3. And the way I've put them together, if the 2 are in the parlay, it's plus 176. That makes me a profitable MLS bettor on the night. If I go 1 for 3 and that 1 is Montreal at plus 223, then I'm again a profitable bettor on the night. So hopefully I go at least 2 out of 3, maybe 1 out of 3, catch Montreal on that side, and it's a profitable night. Hopefully I win all 3, and that's a really profitable day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always the goal, right? But as I always say, our goal is not to be perfect, because obviously anybody who's out there telling you that they are perfect at any sports betting thing, we hit at 85%. So why are you telling me about it, brother? Shouldn't you be like our boy Bill Krackenberger was when we was on the show? We were talking about claiming a horse for 20 grand, and he just reaches in his pocket and pulls out 20 grand's worth of chips, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's when you know someone's telling you the truth.
Yeah, and the only reason he's selling picks is because he's barred at a lot of casinos and everything else, because he's taking all their money. So,
well, on college basketball, it's just banned.
Yeah,
at halftime, nonetheless.
So you're 9-2 in your last 5 games, or 5 days.
No, that's good math right there. 9-2 in my last 5.
Your last 5 days, yeah.
No, I thought you meant 5 picks. I was like,
no.
Well, it's like that. You go through streaks, right? In the beginning, I was kind of muddling along around 500, and then you go through a streak, and then you muddle along around 500 again, and you go through a streak, hopefully a winning and not a losing streak. And you just have to manage your money correctly, Sean. And as long as you manage your money correctly, you're going to live through the bad streaks. You're going to get a good streak. and then you got to press your bets when you're on a good streak, and that's why I'm upping my my units today, and hopefully the hot streak will continue. And that's kind of what we're hoping for this Saturday, Sean.
Yeah, exactly. Winners are always better.
So if folks want to follow us, well, they should follow us, because anybody that's 9-2 over the last 5 days has put money in your pocket. If he's put money in your pocket, you should follow that person, because it's not just luck. There's actually some thinking, some logic, and some math, and then some qualitative research on top of it. So if they want to follow us, where do they do that, Sean?
Facebook and Twitter, Moneyline Madmen.
And then, of course, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down there and the bell. That way you catch us. Today is Saturday, where Sean wakes me up real early in the morning because his little noisemaker wants to get him out of the house and drive him crazy for the rest of the day. Normally, we come on at 4:30 Monday through Friday Eastern time. Same YouTube station, same Facebook Live, same however it is. Later on today, I will be live handicapping at Saratoga for the Jim Dandy Stakes. The return of Essential Quality, the Belmont Stakes winner, probably should have been the Kentucky Derby winner if not for a bad trip. We'll be talking about every single race, every single possible angle for every single horse, hopefully making some picks. If you head over to our sponsor, Horse Racing Radar, you can enter a contest. It's absolutely free, and if you happen to win, you'll get $100 to your bankroll. And those odds are, there's probably be about 150 people in there. So you have a 1 in 50 odds to 150 odds to win it, but it's free. You don't have to put anything into it. So I think it's well worth your time, and it's a fun day.
Yeah. And if you're new to it too, you could practice basically free and see how you do.
Mm-hmm. And you'll learn. I promise you'll learn something from me through the course of the day, whether it's not to play my picks, or you'll learn about track bias and how races set up and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. And that's what's good. Even this show, you don't need to take our picks, but just watch us break down the games, and whatever you like, whatever trends you like that we're coming up with, whatever stats, not everybody has time to research. Half the time we don't even have all the time to do it, but we find what we find, and you can find a lot of good things and go with it.
For me, a lot of these shows that I watch, because I don't watch just ours, but I watch others, I try to learn from other people so that I can add it to what I'm doing. So, I was watching some very boring guy, probably what people thinking about me right about now. And he was talking about some of these advanced metrics for baseball pitchers. So I spent some time on Google and I found them. And you mentioned this run. I started using these advanced metrics to determine which pitchers I want and which ones I don't want, i.e. I'm away from Dallas Keuchel today because he's not the better pitcher in that White Sox game. And it's helped me a lot. So these are some of the things that you can learn. So go out there and Google expected ERA, and you'll find plenty of resources, and it can help you maybe identify pitchers that are under the radar good, and their team is catching a plus line, or you're catching a lot of value with the home team as the favorite.
And all right, Sean. We will have a guest on Monday as well. Joe from Joe Madden Sports. She does her own couple different sports podcasts as well, so she'll join us Monday. I believe we'll run down the baseball schedule, and we'll do also NFL futures.
NFL, baby. The Cowboys and the Steelers are a week away? They play on Thursday or something?
It's possible, yeah.
Is it this Thursday, the Hall of Fame game? I know it's coming soon.
I don't know. That sneaks up on me just, because like you said about.
Are we going to let Dak play? Because Dak is like, I haven't gotten Well, he didn't say he didn't get vaccinated, but he's like, it's none of your business.
Well, nobody ever plays in that first game anyway. You said about minor league baseball. That's what the preseason is too, minor league football.
Well, I know one guy won't play, James Conner, because they're not going to let that guy near contact till the season starts.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Sean, man. Until we catch again up on Monday at, again, 4:30 Eastern on the same YouTube channel, same Facebook Live channel. You'll catch Sean tweeting it out before it starts. Until then, like always, folks, may all your bets be winners like mine have been for the last couple of days.